Oculus has just showcased some kick-ass VR experiences to look forward to. Sony's Spider-Man universe is coming to Disney+. And we have more of my conversation with the director of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All that and the latest and everything cool today in The Rundown. Hey, welcome to The Rundown. I am your host, Victor Lucas, and it is my honor to bring you the latest and everything cool today. Today's episode is actually going out to Jonathan Martinez, who is this is the first time that he's watching The Rundown live. So there you go, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started with your rundown. The big news today was that Oculus had a gaming showcase where they took us through a whole bunch of different reveals. They have been a company that has invested heavily in the VR marketplace out there, brought us tons of great games over the years. Ruth Brahm actually introduced herself as somebody that's been with Oculus since 2014. So we have some people that have had some nice long careers at the company, but we wanted to take a look at some of the games, of course, and we didn't get a look at what Pistol Whip's new campaign is going to be about, but it sure looks cool. It's called Smoke and Thunder, and this is one of my favorite VR experiences, period. And what they're doing here, obviously, is they're going for a little bit of a Wild West theme, but they're fusing it a little bit with technology. They also announced that they've got a concierge game mode or element that's happening with Pistol Whip, which is going to allow players to customize the experience however they want to. And if you haven't played Pistol Whip, the best way to describe it, it's a little bit like Beat Saber meets John Wick. And if you can imagine how awesome that combo could be, it's better than that. It's absolutely stellar. It's an amazing game, so I can't wait to play Smoke and Thunder. We also got a little bit more information on Warhammer 40,000. This is called the Bastion, Last Bastion update. And it brought a horde mode to the experience, and now you can play it cooperatively. This is going to be coming soon. They're kind of rolling out new content with this, but as you can see, it's an incredibly detailed, first-person shooter type of experience in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, which is filled with all kinds of crazy, over-the-top monsters and bad guys that are coming at you. I played a little bit of it, and it was pretty damn fun. We also got a look, kind of an early look, because it's not coming out till next year, at Lone Echo 2, and this is, from Ready Player One, Ready at Dawn, and they have been just stalwarts in the VR space. They've delivered lots of fun VR experiences so far. They know their way around. Lone Echo was one of the strongest original Rift games, and this is coming to the Rift as well, but of course what you can do, you can link the Oculus Quest or Quest 2 to your computer and play the Rift version of it on your Quest. And now there's also the Air Link as well, which will basically give you a seamless wireless experience playing PC-capable games like this one. And I can't wait for this. I'm a big fan of Ready at Dawn and what they've been doing with Lone Echo. I think one of the biggest reveals of the show, but it was the thunder was a little bit taken away from Oculus because obviously Resident Evil 4 was revealed at the Resident Evil Showcase just last week. But this is coming to VR. It's being developed by Armature, which actually has done a bunch of games over the years. Ex-Retro Studios people that actually made Metroid Prime. Which is very interesting because I had a thought that, if there is a perfect gaming IP for VR, it is Metroid Prime. And I wonder if we will ever get that. It'd be amazing to see a company like Oculus walk over to Nintendo. Just the way that Niantic is working with Nintendo on different things. It would be amazing for Metroid Prime to be an experience in VR. We're not getting that. I'm getting ahead of myself. We are getting Resident Evil 4 later this year, and it's exclusive to Oculus Quest 2, I believe. So everything has been formatted and fit into the experience to fit perfectly with the Quest platform. It's going to be crazy to experience that absolutely terrifying game in first person in VR like that, but I can't wait. Super excited about that. Also excited to dive into Star Wars Pinball. The wizards at Zen Studios have been doing some fantastic pinball games over the years, and I recently checked out some of their work in VR, and this is the way to play their digital pinball experiences, I have to say. I mean, they're great on the iPad. It's awesome in kind of a 2D kind of scenario, whether you play it on your television or your tablet or whatever. But when you're in VR and you can kind of look around the table and look around the environment, the room that you can deck out, and obviously these guys do a tremendous job at giving you all kinds of props and all kinds of widgets that extend far beyond what we could really do in a physical pinball table. They take full advantage of the fact that this is a video game, and I love it. And there's some new storylines and some new stuff that's going to be looked at with this Star Wars pinball experience in VR, and I cannot wait to play that game. It looks amazing. We're also going to be getting a sequel to I Expect You to Die, which is kind of like a catchphrase that everybody would say to James Bond. But this was a successful original game, which is kind of like a spy puzzle experience, and they're leading into that here with the sequel, I Expect You to Die 2, and there is The Spy and the Liar. So you've got to figure out some stuff and get away from the traps and probably set some traps. It looks like perfect material for a VR experience. This is probably one of the most interesting reveals today. As you can see, it's from the creator of 1080 Snowboarding. Yes, we're talking about the Nintendo 64 game, Giles Goddard, and he has partnered with a studio to create a spiritual successor. It's funny, we're talking about like classic Nintendo games being turned into VR today, but that's kind of what this is. You're snowboarding in virtual reality, cruising down, but it's arcadey, and it looks kind of accessible and fun and death-defying, and exactly what you want out of a video game snowboarding experience. Hopefully it's fun, and you can see you can pet the dog. It's called Carve Snowboarding, and it's going to be out soon. This is maybe one of the slickest looking games in the reveal because the developers had great success. This is from the team that brought Arizona Sunshine, and it's been a few years since Arizona Sunshine has been on the market. So the team, I think it's Vertigo Software, has had some experience here and some new fidelity and some new art experience to kind of push this game to the limits. And as you can tell, it looks like Left 4 Dead in VR, or Back 4 Blood, or The Evil Dead. There's a lot of these cooperative, asymmetrical type of experiences out there right now, but that looks like a perfect fit, and I can't wait to see what the success of Arizona Sunshine means for a studio. I always say that when a studio gets a chance to kind of lift on what they've learned, we always get a better game on that second go-round or that third go-round. So I would say that Oculus had a pretty damn successful showcase today. It was their very first one, and there's a lot of interesting stuff to look forward to, whether you're on the Rift or the Oculus Quest, which has been getting a bunch of upgrades, including 120 hertz recently, and the AirLink capabilities. So it is really, kind of setting itself up as a sophisticated piece of VR kit. I can't wait to dive in and play some of those games. And of course, when I do, I'll come back and report on them. We got some interesting news from the world of Spider-Man movies today. This was in Variety, and it was all over the place, all over the internet today. Disney and Sony have worked out a deal for Sony movies, and I think this is kind of specific to the Spider-Verse that Sony has been crafting over the years to come to Disney platforms. Obviously, Disney Plus is an ingredient in there, but they also own Hulu and a bunch of linear cable networks as well. And this is not going to be immediate because Netflix and Sony have locked up a really strong deal. So this is kind of, they got that third window or that broadcast window on some of the Spider-Man stories, and it's going to be some of the catalog Spider-Man experiences, but more specifically, it's tied to movies that Sony is going to be crafting over the next 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years. So, No Way Home and the sequels to Venom and Morpheus, but it's also going to reach out into other Sony catalog stuff like Jumanji and a whole bunch of things. But this is really great news for fans of the MCU, and it's always strange when you're clicking through that sort of Marvel category on Disney Plus and none of the Spider-Man movies are there. And they've been kind of scattered all over the place. You can find some of them on Netflix, and then you find like collections of them always for sale on sort of digital shops and stuff like that. But it's going to be pretty awesome to be able to watch them kind of in the sequence of the MCU, if you happen to be a Disney Plus subscriber. And I know that not everybody is, but presumably all of the animated work will be there, including the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, which I can't wait for. It's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And you know what? Say what you will about Sony having the lockup on all of these different properties that Marvel helped to originate, and you could say like really helped to kind of push into the stratosphere because of the amount of success and the amount of expenditures that they've been putting into their movies and their creations. But I think Sony's actually done a pretty damn solid job. There's some really fun experiences in there, and what's going to be insane with No Way Home is we're going to be seeing a lot of the connection, a lot of that sort of threading with previous Spider-Man work. So I can't wait for that film. And this is, it's good news, I think, for people that are maybe cutting down on what they're subscribing to, because if they sort of make the choice to be just a Disney Plus subscriber, but they love all of the Marvel stuff out there, looks like eventually you're going to get all of that. No word on exact timing on when all of this stuff starts to happen. I think that some of the archived Sony movies start happening on Hulu this summer. And the only other sort of caveat to all this is that right now everything seems kind of tied to the U.S. market. So I don't know how much that's going to come into play for the international markets out there, or even up in Canada, which is where we're based. But I think it's an inevitability. Disney and Sony have kind of got to play nice for a long time because they're sort of connected at the hip with the most famous Marvel character that exists out there. And Tom Holland and everybody involved with the Spider-Man movies has been doing a good job. And also the Spider-Verse film was so phenomenal, and expectations are huge for the sequel there. I think the real sort of litmus test will be how Sony manages to expand out, doing the Sinister Six movie, and hopefully Morpheus is good, and Venom and Carnage is good. But we shall see, and it looks like Disney and Sony are going to be playing nice for a long time. For the next piece, what I wanted to do was dive in a little bit more on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I got a chance to interview Kari Skogland, who is the director of this series. She directed all 6 episodes, and of course, the finale is this Friday. And I had a fantastic conversation. I shared a little bit of it yesterday, and I wanted to share a little bit more with Kari Skogland today. What's really interesting also, of course, is that Captain America is working overseas, and there's a statement about America's symbolism on the international stage there as well. And you shot overseas as well. What was it like to bring the production from Atlanta to Europe and kind of roll with all of the changes there?
Well, I do a lot of work in Europe, so this was for me, very easy. What was great was opening up the international, scope of it.
Yes.
On the visual side. And I think it really made a big difference because of these themes we were talking about, imperialism being one of them, that we had to sort of take it out of our normal comfort zone imagery and really embrace Europe. And I guess it's one of the first that does that in a big scale. I suppose Spider-Man has as well, but we really embraced the scenery, and I wanted it to have that feel, that international scope and thriller quality. So they were very, very welcoming over there as well, which was terrific.
That's amazing. And your international cast is fantastic as well. There's like really nice little nuggets of surprise in every corner. Was this what you were anticipating when you were talking to Marvel about working on the show? Did you get what you bargained for, or was it more, or was it different?
No, it was great. I mean, besides pinching myself every day going into work, and definitely that, when I got the call, hey, they want to, they want to work with you on this, I, just celebrated for a week. I think for me, it was, yes, a bit of a learning curve because I hadn't worked at this scale or scope before. But it was a terrific place to work. They're very supportive and very embracing. But I also think my ideas came in as well. The reason they wanted to work with me was in part because they had not done a 6-hour movie, And and they felt like I could maybe bring something to the party in terms of what that was. Now, truthfully, we just made it like a big movie, so I don't know that I brought so much to any earth-shattering new ways of doing things. But definitely there's a path of discovery that they want to go on, and they want you as a filmmaker to make it your show and to really bring what your sensibilities are. That's why you've been asked to join the world, is to bring what you do. So there's no limits, it's just all about doing the best, making it the best it can possibly be. That's
awesome.
Invigorating.
What an incredible story. The fact that she had never been in the Marvel space at all, and then she comes out and just kicks so much butt with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They found the right director. It is a very cool show. And clearly had the experience to make a 6-hour movie. I'm very, very excited about this finale. I'm curious as hell how they're going to wrap it up. I saw people were commenting on the fact that this could run for several more seasons because it's so fun. But I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, I want that to happen, but I think we're going to be shocked. I've got more to share with Kari Skogland, so stick around for that. Not today, but I'll be sharing some more before the finale. But yeah, it was a real treat to get to talk with her. Okay, I've got a couple of other quick things to tell you about. First of all, today Xbox did something very cool. They announced that they are waiving a lot of the Xbox Live membership costs for the free-to-play experiences that are out there, so people can jump on and play multiplayer games without having to spend anything. And this is huge for games like Fortnite. There are 50 games in this list. Call of Duty Warzone is in there, but there's also some interesting ones in there like Crackdown, and there's also demos. So yeah, it's a cool move. I think it's long overdue. Sony's been doing something similar for a long time. They haven't charged people to be able to download games and play stuff for free online, some specific games. And I just think that that's the way to do it. And it does feel, I feel like Xbox is trying to push everybody over to become a Game Pass subscriber, and the internet connectivity will be thrown in there. I think that's the inevitability of what they're leaning towards. And I saw numbers being thrown around yesterday, actually, about Xbox Game Pass at the 23 million subscriber count, which is just insane. It's growing and growing and growing. But that is a good move for Xbox fans out there. If you want to play some free-to-play stuff, you don't have to pay anything extra to be able to do that, which is pretty cool, because I think one of the big attractions for free-to-play, obviously, is people are trying to save their money, and they just want to get online and jump in and hang out with their buds. And now you can do it without having to spend any extra money. Now, over in the PlayStation streaming department, some news broke today from Video Games Chronicle. They found a Polish... on the Polish PlayStation Store, they saw that PlayStation Plus Video Pass it hasn't been officially announced, but they saw this leak on the Polish PlayStation Store. So we got to see kind of the logo and some of the early details. They also showed kind of what the front end screen is going to look like. So apparently there's going to be some kind of video streaming in the linear video department available to PlayStation Plus subscribers. And this is clearly Sony kind of trying to compete with, I mean, they've got a huge catalog of stuff as well, right? I mean, we just talked about Sony doing this huge deal with Disney and all of its networks, and it did do a huge deal with Netflix. And so they're trying to get it everywhere. But yeah, they should have their own streaming service for sure, and it should be a part of PlayStation, absolutely. But it sounds like that got leaked early, and it's not official, and who knows when we're going to be able to check that out. But I think don't be surprised if that does get announced. And honestly, I'm waiting for that big counterpunch that keeps getting teased for Sony to move towards Game Pass and strengthen its online streaming options and its downloadable options. But these are very interesting days. Every day I wake up, I do the rundown, and it's completely like, what? That's happening? Oh my God, really? And yeah, lots of cool surprises today. But that's going to do it for the rundown today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for finding the channel and watching this if this is your first time here. But of course, thank you so much to our subscribers and to our wonderful EPN members. We'll see you tomorrow. And until then, play forever.